Stand, please. Dear Father, thank you, Lord. Thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for our meeting we're having today. Lord, just be with us as we go through the procedures today. And bless our people. Bless our church overseas. Bless our people in authority, in the tribe, and in our nation, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for everything. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Snell. Roll call. Meredith Fraley. Here. Buell England. Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Bozer.
Here.
Julia Coates. Here. Bradley Cobb. Joe Crittenden. Jody Fisherhawk. Chanel Fulbright. Don Garvin. Chuck Hoskin Jr. Tana Gloria Jordan. Curtis Snell.
Here.
Chris Sugg.
Here.
David Thornton. Caracon Watts.
Oh, honey,
We do have a quorum.
we have a quorum. The purpose of this Rules Subcommittee meeting is to discuss and take possible action on amendments to the election code. And Dr. Henry, I think you're up and at 'em.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
And I want to welcome the Election Commission here.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Thank you.
Mr. Lloyd.
Members back here.
Thank you for coming.
Looks like we have the complete election commission here. That's fantastic. We are continuing with the series of amendments that have been put forth to this subcommittee for quite some time. As of the last meeting, we completed it. We wanted input from the election commission before we actually finished to get their thoughts, and there was also a few items that continued to be tabled until such time that we were able to hear from the election commission. In that regard, and at the direction of the committee, I met with the election commission, and they brought forward their concerns on some amendments and some amendments that we had not addressed. In front of you is those written amendments. What I would suggest, Madam Chairman, is that we go through the amendments that had been brought forward by the Election Commission with the, while they're obviously here and they can have their reasoning of why they would want these amendments. And then we would go back through the tabled matters so that hopefully this subcommittee could take action on those.
Great. Does everyone have a copy of these proposed amendments? And this is one you're talking about, right, Todd?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
There's a handwritten one that's a revision of that one that everybody should have.
Does everyone have the one with handwriting on it? I don't have it. No. Okay, that's the one we're going to discuss, right, Todd?
Right. The first one, if it pleases the chairperson, the first one is an amendment to Section 64A, which involves voting procedure, particularly of challenge ballots. Right now, in Section 64, if the precinct worker does not find their name or has another reason to believe that this person cannot vote, they can file an affidavit saying that they are residents of that district and that they are eligible to vote in that district or that precinct, and they get to cast a challenge ballot. Well, that doesn't address at-large voters. So we, at the suggestion of the Election Commission, that we would add or at-large voters. So if an at-large voter, namely, let's say at a border county or a border precinct, that they could file an affidavit that they are an at-large voter and still cast a challenge ballot. Is that what we have discussed? They all nod in concurrence.
Mr. Cole, did you want to comment on that
No,
particular?
we've gone over those, and I made one or two notations on there to add to the proposed amendments. We've discussed it with Todd and Commission. We've discussed it before we came over here. We're all in accord with these changes. And subject to any comments or any criticism you all may have.
Does anyone have any comments for Mr. Baker?
Madam Chairman.
Yes.
64A, I move to approve as written here and amended.
Motion to approve 64A as written. Second. And a second. Any further discussion?
Now, where will the at-large voter vote? The challenged or provisional vote? I mean, where would they present themselves on day of election?
It could be anywhere. You know, yeah. Let's say I'm a resident of California, and I happen to be in the jurisdictional boundaries of the Cherokee Nation, and I come up and I say, I want to vote. Okay. Well, right now, the law only provides for a challenge ballot upon signing an affidavit that says that I am a resident of this district. Well, they know they're not a resident of that district. So it is basically to make the law conform to our new at-large voters.
And is the challenge vote what we're talking about? Didn't we rename that provisional vote?
I can't remember. I think so. Yeah.
But it's
yeah.
the same.
It's the same process. Yeah.
Okay. Same animal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Floor is yours. Does that answer your question?
Well, where do they get a ballot that, if they're an at-large voter and say they present themselves at Tahlequah on the day of the election, where do they get the ballot that has their at-large counselors on it?
I'll leave that
That's what
to
I'm trying to
the
ask.
Ms. Calico can address that.
So they can exercise their right to vote for their counselors.
Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, what we will do at all of the precincts, every precinct inspector will have 5 to 6 to 7 at-large ballots. Tahlequah, Stillwell, Pryor, Locust Grove, all of them will have one. If someone presents themselves like that, does the paperwork, they call the office, talk with us, yes, they are an at-large, they do that provisional ballot right there.
Answer your question. Mr. Soap, did you have something for Ms. Calico on 64A?
Yes, I was just wondering what's the tracking mechanism that allows someone to be identified in that manner? Do you go back and do a name sort, or how does that work?
The tracking,
Yeah.
they call our office, we know who are the at-large voters and who have not voted, an absentee, not requested one, and did not do the walk-in voting.
Okay, so the precinct goes back, and so they have to be registered, and so there's a phone
Correct.
call in there that happens
Correct.
prior to the issuing of this.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
And then that voted ballot goes in an envelope, handed back, and then comes to us. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on, Martha, we may have another one. Dr. Tom?
I was just Councilor Jordan actually asked the question I was going to, but I didn't want to say it. With a good slingshot, I could hit an at-large voter's house from the precinct in Bartlesville. So I know at least once there was somebody that walked in from Osage County to that. So you were asking, who walks in. I know that happens in Bartlesville occasionally. So, but you asked my question on the back.
Correct. In Coffeyville, those precincts will probably have more at-large ballots given to them for that day, because the chances are they'll have more people walk in.
Ms. Cushing-Hawk, did you have a question? I saw your hand go up a while ago.
It was the same one China was asking.
Mr. Leslie?
And is that also going to apply to early voting too, right?
Early voting is only done at the election office.
Okay.
And of course, those ballots are there.
So they would have to be able to
Oh,
vote
yes,
there.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thanks, Martha. You might want to sit on the front row. With Lloyd.
Back row Baptist.
We need to take a vote, don't we? Yes.
We took a vote on
Further
that?
discussion? 64A. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, Mr. Hembry.
The next one is section 21C3, and in creating this, I went back through our amendments and found that we actually passed an amendment on this section on October 13th of 2008. The idea is, and we deleted a non-resident registered voter who wishes to change districts. So that's been deleted. The one thing that we do need to add in there is the time specification of 5 p.m. So although we've already taken action on this, I would ask that you entertain a motion to add the 5 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, now discussion. Ms. Gloria Jordan?
Shouldn't we have somewhere in there, maybe after, where it says a resident registered voter, resident, is it defined somewhere where it means that's where they live at?
Let's check the definitions.
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's in definitions number 26. Resident registered voter means a person who resides in, whose residence is inside of the jurisdictional boundaries of Cherokee Nation at the time he or she registers to vote.
Well, shouldn't it be also within the district that they're wanting to vote in?
When you get down to the, to people eligible to vote, it's in there. I can find that also.
So then, Todd, would that negate the next part which says, or who wishes to change precinct? I mean, we may all want to change our precincts, but unless we live there, should we be eligible to do so? I mean, I think we need the first part, but do we need the part where it says, or who wishes to change precincts?
What I would do is, we have the experts here.
Could we call Martha back up?
Well, I would understand that to mean that you'd have to be eligible. If you want to change districts, you'd have to be eligible by having moved into that district.
So the first part would be, we'd be covered. But what I'm asking is, do we need the or who wishes to change precincts? That almost sounds like you can change just because you want to, not because you're a resident.
But when you come to the election board and ask them for that change, you've got to give them a new residence.
But should we even give certain people the right to challenge us on that wording? If we don't have it, there's no way they can challenge you on it.
They defer to Martha again.
Mr. Baker, did you want a response to that before you? Go ahead.
Yes, okay, thank you. I would suggest that we, a resident registered voter who's moved to a new district or precinct, and then strike or who wishes to change precinct, who's moved to a new district or precinct.
I'd second that.
Everyone clear? First sentence, 21C3, a resident registered voter who has moved to a new district or precinct.
Yes.
May re-register and strike the rest.
Maybe register for a new district and or precinct.
That makes sense.
You don't vote in it.
Mr. Hembry?
Madam Chairman, we had talked about that when I met with the Election Commission, and what I will do is, if the chair would so entertain, is yield my time to Ms. Calico.
Okay, how we thought we should change that, and we're talking about 21C3. We were talking about a resident registered voter who has moved to a new district and wishes to change precinct. Right there, we should add within their district. You can't change precincts unless you're within your district. You and I talked about that, Bill John. Mm-hmm. So what we need to do there, and I'd ask him, is to add within the district. If we will add within the district, that takes care of that.
Within the voter's district.
That's correct.
That's
We have Shelley read that.
Jack, did you make a motion to
Buell.
strike it?
I made the motion and Buell seconded it in the very beginning.
So I'm going to ask for a friendly amendment to his
Yeah,
motion.
but you made a suggestion,
Yes.
and now we've got another suggestion. So did you make a motion to,
I'm going to offer this a friendly amendment.
Can you read it to me?
This is see if I'm right on this, but a resident registered voter who has moved to a new district or precinct within their district may re-register for a new district and/or precinct.
I would accept that. Buell.
Yes, I will too.
everyone clear?
Is that clear?
Any other discussion on that particular sentence?
I thought Martha said not the district, but the precinct within the district.
She said voters district.
I would ask that there be amendment to, a friendly amendment made to add the language that Ms. Calico also stated.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Point of clarification. Todd, can you read the language to us that Martha's wanting to put in there?
With the amendment friendly amendment that just took place, it would read, a resident registered voter who has moved to a new district or precinct within their district, or who wishes to change precincts within the voter district.
No.
Or wishes to change precincts within their district. In other words, if you want to vote at Talcott instead of Briggs, that's fine.
No, the word and, not
Or,
or.
and, okay. I thought it said or.
Who wishes to change, Todd, was stricken.
Okay?
Well, I think it was and wishes to change districts.
No.
I think that's correct. I think if you take the or out, it will be correct. And wishes to change precincts within their district.
Okay. Mr. Baker?
So this means if they're not residing in that precinct, they can still change to a different precinct.
No.
Well, that language does allow them to.
We want them to live where they're voting.
But
Some of them vote where they don't live.
right.
Well, we need to fix it. And then what, we're going over all this stuff
Yes.
for?
Yeah.
And the word and will fix that, I think, that,
Well,
we're not giving them the ability to just choose a district. They gotta live where they're voting.
No, that was not my intention, because mine was a resident who's moved to a new district or precinct, which means they've moved to a new, or they've moved to a new precinct within their district. Then they may re-register. But it wasn't to just allow them to, if they're living in one precinct, decide to vote in another precinct.
Mr. Baker? Mr.
well, I was kind of hoping that was it, because we have tons of Cherokees that work in Tahlequah, that live at Briggs, or live at Lowry, or live, someplace in the county, and it's a whole lot easier for them to swing by and vote in town than it is, and it's a social event to vote at Sequoia. I mean, we've got majority of the Cherokee County vote up at Sequoia, and it doesn't matter, it's in the same district. So.
Mr. Anglin?
And I agree with Bill, John, because we have the same problem. And we have people that live in Tulsa that vote in Bartlesville. They have to go to that precinct to vote. And so I want to leave the option open to where these people can get back into where it's central, it's located conveniently for them to vote instead of driving from Bartlesville to Tulsa to vote or Tulsa to Bartlesville and vote, So whatever language we need to where they can change from precinct to precinct within their district, we just need to work that in, I think.
So how does it need to be written to accomplish that?
I don't know.
They won't be in their district.
So, Tina, I think what you're saying is a resident voter who has moved to a new district and wishes to change precinct within their district. Is that what you're saying?
That would accomplish it. They live in the district, but they've chosen the precinct. That would accomplish it.
Ms. Coates?
I would like to ask if Ms. Calico has a response to to the discussion right now. I think maybe she does.
We're in the process, we're trying to look at Adair County. We thought Adair County would be the easiest to split, north and south. So we sent 2,000 letters to people with Stillwell addresses, north and south, and said, tell us where you live, north or south, tell us finding directions. So we've got 600 probably back right now. Okay, but those others that we don't get back, we're going to have to call them and try to put them in a place, put them in a precinct. They don't call us and say, I want to vote at Tulsa. We put them somewhere. We're the ones that put them in a precinct. Now, if they come in and fill out the registration form, they may choose their precinct if it's in their district. But we do 90% of that, sure 80% of it, the election office does, not the voter.
So Martha, what will effect you are trying to accomplish is leaving in and who wishes to change.
Within the
Leave that
district.
wording in. Mr. Baker?
Yes, okay. Then we go back to the original, the way it's worded here. A registered voter who has moved to a new district or who wishes to change precinct, and we add within their district.
Correct. Correct.
And then maybe register. So the only thing would be, our friendly amendment that we add to the original language to after precinct within their district.
Okay.
So leave it like it is, except
Add within their
within the
district.
voters' district. You accept that, Bill?
Yes.
Okay, further discussion?
So now can we read it with the friendly amendment included?
Okay. Shelley, you want to read that or you want? Okay. All right. Follow along with me. A resident registered voter who has moved to a new district or wishes to change precincts within their district. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then you delete the rest, who wishes to, okay, we're going to just keep on, okay.
Just added it. That's
Just added that in. And who wishes to change precincts may re-register, etc.
Mr. Baker? Mr. At-large Baker?
Yes.
You clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Baker?
Yeah.
Alpha Baker.
Martha, it's related, but I got a different question.
Yes, sir.
You just said that you divided Adair County north and south.
Trying to do that, yes, sir.
They generally vote where?
Mankiller,
Okay, Mankiller.
Bell, Cave Springs.
Mankiller's going to be in the northern district.
No.
Or southern.
Mankiller is located south, but in our thinking about precincts, we're thinking maybe north and south are both going to have to vote at Mankiller, and the north
You're just
uses the
separate
north
set of
door
ballots.
and the south uses the south door or something.
Well, that was my question.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it's in one district or the other,
Correct.
you're not going to say that, okay, everybody that lives in the north can no longer go there,
No, sir.
or south, or whatever. it's
I
called.
hope not.
Okay, just curious.
We'll vote
Because
Texas
they'll
in the
actually be
north.
voting outside their district.
Sure,
But that'll be the precinct for their district. All right.
sure.
Good.
Any other questions? Ms. Fisher?
Well, I'm confused, like when Bill was talking about what if some of his people on election day voting here instead of there because it's more convenient for them. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, actually, it's like Martha said earlier, the election commission put these people
Okay.
in. But they didn't really realize that, like, say for instance, Skytube, they didn't realize that people lived in Skytube. Their closest polling place would be Collinsville and not down in Tulsa. So that's where it's a lot of the confusion, and we had some Tulsa people that voted in Bartlesville.
Bill, what you're actually talking about is that large voters. Is that
No, in-district voters.
in district?
Mhm.
Yeah, and they sure may get put in. a place that's not
But
convenient.
I just wanted to leave the door open to where they can.
They're gonna get information, they're gonna get a letter from the election that says your voting precinct is. When our districts are finalized, everybody will get a letter saying this is your voting precinct.
And they will have the option to.
Sure. If they don't like it, call and say, I live 2 miles from Skytube.
Yeah, right.
Correct, correct.
So that's all I want to make sure.
They have to
People have that option.
Yeah.
Yes, they have the option.
And Ms. Lori Jordan?
So right now, as it reads with the motion and the friendly amendment, you still have to reside in your district. You're simply going to find the precinct that's most convenient to you. If they send you a card and it's not the convenient one, then you'll be proactive and go and sign up for the more convenient precinct to vote at. But you still have to live, you reside, you're a resident, that's where your house is at, in that district, okay?
Correct. Mr. Garvin?
I have a question. In the 15 districts, does each district have 3 precincts? 3 only?
Council,
I don't know if they've come to locate all the precincts at this time.
Council, can you answer that yet?
We haven't even looked at, we've looked at 2 for each district of the 15. And we feel like just visiting a little bit about it, there's gonna have to be more. We have 33 precincts last election. If we had 2 in each, that'd be 30. It's probably not gonna be enough, especially up north. Your all's areas that are north. So we don't know that yet. Until the districts are set, we won't even do that.
Any other discussion? Okay, is everyone clear on what we are voting on? Shelley, you want to read that back just to make sure that we're clear?
A resident registered voter who has moved to a new district or wishes to change precinct within their district may re-register for a new district and/or precinct on or before, but not after, the last business day in March of the election year in order to effect a change of voting district and/or precinct for said election year, provided that the new registration form shall be delivered to the Election Services Office on or before, Election Services Offices by 5 p.m. on or before said day in order to be valid for said election year.
That's it.
Very good. Any further discussion? All in favor? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay. Good.
The next amendment proposed by the Election Commission is in Section 78, which deals with walk-in ballots. Right now, walk-in voting. Right now, the law states voters may also vote in person at the Election Commission at Tahlequah, Oklahoma from the Wednesday prior to Election Day until Election Day between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. The Election Commission wishes to expand that to a total of 6 days, which we have set out there, which would be not the Thursday before, but the week preceding that Thursday. You would open up walk-in voting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, take Sunday and Monday off, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I left off Thursday. Not have walk-in voting on Friday. That would be in order to train or go over your polling workers, and then actually have Election Day on that Saturday.
Ms. Calmore?
I'd like to move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Second. Discussion? Mr. Baker?
So Thursday of the second week, we do allow it.
That was
That makes sense.
right.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
It was just left out.
Total 6 days of walk-in voting.
So, Ms. Shembry, this amendment here is in addition to what we already have as a new paragraph?
Well, we're reworking, we're basically striking, it would be striking that whole paragraph. It's the same language as you see. Voters may also vote in person, which is exactly the same as our previous language, at the Election Commission at Tahlequah, Oklahoma, which is the same. And then for the new language, which is underlined, for a total of 6 days prior to the election days in the following manner. And then we set it all out here. And then we add in that language the hours for voting in person at the Election Commission shall be between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. It's basically replacing that line, but incorporating everything.
Lori Jordan?
Just a question pertaining to the security of the ballots. Will we, from the Thursday when they start doing the walk-in voting until Election Day, what sort of security, what sort of provisions are being made to secure those ballots during that interim time? Because I understand you don't start counting until the day of the election.
Ms. Calico, yeah, I know you'd sit on the front row.
I'm going to sit up here. The voting machines, we have one voting machine that's used at the office. When we get through at 5 o'clock and we secure it and shut it down, our election workers go home, our security, Cherokee Nation security, and the staff take this, and the inspector, we keep the inspector there, take this to the vault. It's secured in the vault. You know, our Cherokee Nation marshals see it. It's closed. They know who has the vault combination, and that's only 2 people, and it's left there until I get back over there the next morning.
What vault are we talking about?
Vault at our office. We have 2 vaults at our office.
And there's only 2 people that
2
can
people.
open that vault?
That's correct.
And those 2 people are election board
Staff.
people?
Staff. Election staff. Right.
Is there any way to place a device on that vault that would show that it wasn't opened anytime during the night?
Can't answer that, Tom, I don't know.
I mean, I think
Is that true with
once we
any of
start,
those vaults that are located here?
once we start taking the in ballots, I think we need to use the utmost care with making sure those ballots are not tampered with during that 6 to 8 day process, even including on Sunday and Monday, that there's no way that they can be tampered with.
When the machine is shut down, the key is taken from it. The key is with the election service. They're there with us when we go and get our voting machine. I mean, you know, if you were in the vault, you're not going to do anything to it or open it unless you tear it up and kill it. There's not any way, because there is a key. We've shut it down. We've recorded how many ballots are in it.
Well, I'm certainly not opposed to this section. This goes beyond that section, and it's really a remedy that has to be considered by the election board. But I just want to voice my concern that since we're going to be maintaining ballots on the premises for a number of extra days, that we have taken all the necessary precautions to make sure that those ballots in no way, or that machine in no way, can be tampered with from the point where it's put in to use until Election Day, and they open it up and start counting those ballots.
Isn't that procedural?
It is, Madam Chairman. If what I would suggest is that, although it doesn't pertain to the amendment, is that the Election Commission get with Terry Rainey with Automated Election Services and present to the council a memorandum of what measures they take to ensure ballot security, and what options are out there that we may want to entertain.
There is actually a device I know of that you can put on a vault where, if it has been opened any time other than when you plan for it to be opened, it will show up. And I don't think it's a real expensive item.
And I'm sure Mr. Rainey knows of a number of ways for security about that we can ease everyone's concerns.
Well, I might say that we'll develop a memorandum and have that circulated.
Thank you.
Because if there's a question arises, the court system is the one that's going to decide what kind of security or lack of security those ballots have had from the time they were voted until they were counted. So we'll address that and see if we can satisfy you on that.
Dr. Cobb?
Well, I was just going to give a real life real-world experience with that. If you recall, I think.
Are you yielding to him?
I yield, but it
Okay,
looks like.
sorry.
Well, the Creek election, principal chief for the Creek election was decided by a handful of votes. George Tiger did a recount, paid $5,000. The court ruled that that the election commission could not prove that the ballot secured, that the ballots were secured. So therefore, the amendment, the challenge was thrown out. So this happens, and and I know we rarely want to emulate the Creek. So if we would make sure that our procedures are above and beyond theirs, I think that would be beneficial.
No.
No, I withdraw at this time.
Dr. Cobb?
I just wanted to, in your statement, you said that there are 2 staff members that I'm just curious, since the election commission is appointed by various branches, I feel, this may just be me, but I feel more comfortable if y'all got together and appointed an individual from the election board also had the ability to, that may be something when you bring the recommendations back.
The theory you have has access to those documents.
Yeah, y'all are on there for a reason. I would feel more comfortable if maybe y'all got together and appointed someone that had the ability to do that too. So just want to throw that in.
Martha, the 2 staff people have the combination.
Combination, correct.
Correct. And then you put the machine in and you lock it down. Who keeps that key?
Election services,
Who's that?
Terry Rainey out of Albuquerque, or his staff has the key.
Okay, gotcha.
But the machine's already in the vault.
In the vault, locked down, and then staff has the...
So if you got in the vault, you're not going to be able to open or look at the machine until you have the key from Mr. Rainey.
Gotcha.
One additional thing, when you think about people having keys, it's always better if 2 people if it takes 2 keys and 2 people, you're a lot less likely to see a conspiracy. One person maybe...
It's like a nuclear submarine. You got to have...
Right. So maybe we want 2 people, one from the election board and one from this service, to have different keys, and it takes both keys to open up wherever you're placing the
Well, that could be, we've got 35 or 40 ballot machines there, and they only take 1 key.
Not that this isn't important, the security is important, but I think we need to move on. We only have 10 minutes. And Dr. Cobb, you have one comment before we move on.
I just wanted to say, I don't think there's a big fear here. I think it's more, at least from my perspective, exactly what Mr. Hembry said. It's just, we don't want to put ourselves in a position where anybody could ever come back and say, prove to me that this was secure. I don't think it's any issue of it. So, thank you.
And we did take a vote on that, correct? Yes. Okay. Madam Chairman.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay.
Madam Chairman, the next amendment proposed by the Election Commission would be an additional language at the end of Section 42. We have experienced one of our, might have been the first, ballot measures in the last election, or in the special election in March of 2007. And it's come to our attention that candidates must have a financial agent and disclose expenditures in accordance with this act, but the proponents or opponents of ballot measures don't. So this language is an attempt to rectify that, which says any person or persons who promote the passage or defeat of a ballot measure, which shall include but not be limited to initiative questions, referendum questions, or constitutional amendments, shall register a financial agent with the Election Commission and shall follow the financial disclosure requirements as set forth in this act.
Mr. Baker.
There's a 2 that's left out of our printed version, which you need to add.
Limited to?
Which shall include but not be limited to.
Okay. Correct, that's what, you talked about.
Everyone clear?
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved in second, any further discussion? Mr. So,
How does that, how do we define that, Todd, as far as, any person or persons? Is there some type of financial ceiling that qualifies these people, or if you're just out, running around the countryside spending gas money and talking about, how we're gonna defeat this initiative, then you would expect them to go and register and keep track of any,
Well,
anything they get, or what?
much like, I might be for a candidate in election, and I might go around talking, getting my friends to vote for this candidate and spending gas money, et cetera. But, that's, it is not contemplated by the Election Commission that I have to, register that with a financial agent. This is when there is, contemplated an organized effort.
So when the checks start being written,
right,
that's whenever that kind of triggers whatever
yes,
person or groups.
And we would leave it up to the Election Commission as to how best to implement this. And if they need further language in the law, that we can come back and get that. Mr. Cole brings up a good point that we have defined entity in here. So I would add any persons or entity.
What if they're non-tribal related entities?
Let's say,
how are you going to enforce any type of requirements upon them?
Well, unfortunately, we only have jurisdiction over our tribal citizens. And let's say First Nation wants to come in here, or is it First Nation? The Quick Trip people? Wants to come in here, and One Nation wants to come in and, influence our election. Unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do about that. But
that's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Madam Chairman, items that were tabled that the Election Commission had comments on, I would refer us back to the question on, first, and I believe we had anonymous campaigning. We had debated that, and we had taken a vote on it, and they would agree that some form of anonymous campaigning is required. But I think I think we've already taken a vote on that. If we were to go to Section 77, materials to accompany absentee ballots generally. It is the comments of the Election Commission, and obviously I will let them speak for themselves, that in order to ensure ballot security.
We're on
Page 11.
Page 11.
Page 11, Section 77.
Okay, carry on.
The Election Commission informed us that in order to ensure or better ensure absentee integrity, that affidavit with notary public would be needed. Is that correct? Yes.
Correct.
So their recommendation is on Section 77 that language or that amendment be defeated. Instead of going to just a mere declaration, keep in affidavit with notary public.
So delete declaration and keep affidavit.
Defeat the amendment and keep as is.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion on this?
Okay, as I understand
I
that,
need a motion and a second, then we'll go into discussion.
well,
Do we
I
have
would
a
make that motion that we defeat number 77.
Second. Now discussion.
Now, as I understand it, we're just leaving it the same. Okay.
Everyone clear?
And the same, okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
The same logic goes with Section 78, which is on the next page.
This is
Well, let's vote them one at a time.
Okay.
since we already got that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Roll call. Yes, as you approve.
Yes, you defeat.
Defeat.
Yes,
Yes, as you defeat.
Bill John Baker,
Yes.
Jack Baker,
No.
Harley Buzzard,
Yes.
Julia Coates,
No.
Bradley Cobb,
No.
Joe Crittenden is not here, Jody Fishinghawk,
Yes.
Meredith Fraley,
Yes.
Janelle Fulbright, not here, Don Garvin,
No.
Chuck Austin, Tina Glory,
Yes.
Curtis Snell,
Yes.
Chris Soap,
No.
Tara Cowan Watts,
No.
Bill Anglin.
No.
We have 6 yes and 7 no.
6 yes, 7 no. Motion to defeat fails.
correct. So if you do want to pass this amendment, there would need to be a motion to approve it.
Approve as written.
Yeah.
Table.
Have a second to table?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Roll call.
Now, we're voting to table?
Yes.
Julia Coates,
No.
Bradley Cobb,
No.
Jody Fishinghawk,
Yes.
Meredith Fraley,
No.
Janelle Fulbright, Don Garvin,
No.
Tina Glory Jordan,
Yes.
Curtis Snell,
Yes.
Chris Soap,
Yes.
Tara Cowan Watts,
No.
Bill Anglin,
No.
Bill John Baker,
Yes.
Jack Baker,
No.
Harley Buzzard.
Yes.
6 yes, 7 no.
7 no. So we are voting, I need a motion now to approve.
Move to approve.
Second. Any discussion now? Yes, before Jordan.
Well, I think we're going to have extensive discussion on this, and I note that the time is 12 o'clock, and we have other things that were planned at 12. So I would ask that we do our discussion on this for next time. I make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Embry, our time is up, she's correct. However, it's open for discussion. So how do we do this?
Couple of ways. Okay. One would be call for orders of the day, which is for adjournment. The other one is a flat-out motion for adjournment. Motion to adjourn does take precedence over a main motion, which is where we're at right now. So either call it orders of the day or you call it a motion to adjourn, which is fine, but you would take a motion, that does take precedence over a main motion.
And I call for a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Did you second? Now, is that
Not debatable, not
not
amendable.
debatable? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Roll call. Yes, as you approve to adjourn.
Jack Baker,
Yes.
Harley Buzzard,
Yes.
Julia Coates,
Yes.
Bradley Cobb,
Yes.
Joe Crittenden, not here, Jody Fishinghawk,
Yes.
Meredith Fraley,
Yes.
Janelle, Don Garvin,
Yes.
Tina Glory Jordan,
Yes.
Curtis Snell,
Yes, yes. Yes.
Chris Soap,
Yes.
First time vote twice.
Tara Cowan Watts,
No.
Bill Anglin,
No.
Bill John Baker.
Yes.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yes.
We are adjourned.
Could we ask our group to come back?